Welcome to Lost at 3 a.m. Put your phone down, close your eyes, and let this be the last video you hear tonight. Relax, breathe, and let's begin. Tonight, we're unraveling the story of Severus Snape, one of the most complex and unforgettable characters in the Harry Potter series. Snape's journey is one of love, loss, sacrifice, and redemption. A story filled with grey areas that challenge our perception of heroism and villainy. Throughout the series, Snape was many things. A cunning Slytherin, a feared potions master, a loyal ally, and a misunderstood man haunted by his past. His role in the wizarding world was pivotal, weaving together the lives of Harry Potter, Lord Voldemort, and Dumbledore in ways that no one could have foreseen. But beneath his cold, calculating demeanour was a deeply emotional story that would change how we see him forever. As we dive into Snape's life tonight, imagine the halls of Hogwarts, the flickering light of cauldrons in the dungeon, and the soft rustle of his billowing robes. Let's uncover the layers of this enigmatic character, from his early days in Spinner's End to his ultimate sacrifice for a cause greater than himself. It's a tale of love, loyalty, and the complexities of human nature. Let's begin. Severus Snape's story begins in the unremarkable and dreary neighbourhood of Spinner's End, a grey industrial area that reflected the hardships of his early life. Born to a wizard mother, Eileen Prince, and a muggle father, Tobias Snape, his childhood was far from happy. Tobias was cruel and abusive, creating a tense and unhappy home that left a lasting mark on Snape's personality. Amid this bleak upbringing, Snape found a glimmer of light in his friendship with Lily Evans, a muggle-born witch who lived nearby. From the moment they met, their bond was undeniable. Snape introduced Lily to the wizarding world, showing her its magic and wonder, while Lily offered him kindness and companionship that he desperately needed. Their connection became the most important relationship of Snape's life, shaping many of his choices and defining his motivations. Despite their closeness, the differences in their backgrounds became increasingly apparent as they grew older. Snape, influenced by his fascination with dark magic and his association with future Death Eaters, began to walk a path that clashed with Lily's values. Their friendship ultimately unraveled, leaving Snape filled with regret and longing for the person who had once been his greatest source of joy. As you close your eyes tonight, imagine the quiet streets of Spinner's End, the flicker of a young Severus practicing magic, and the warmth of Lily's laughter echoing through the memories of his childhood. Snape's early life was a mixture of hardship and fleeting hope, a reminder of how the choices we make and the people we meet shape the paths we take. Severus Snape's time at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry was both formative and complicated, filled with moments that would shape his future for better and worse. Sorted into Slytherin House, Snape immediately found himself surrounded by ambitious and cunning peers, many of whom would later align themselves with Lord Voldemort. As a student, Snape excelled in potions, defense against the dark arts, and spell invention, showcasing his brilliance and creativity. He even earned the nickname the Half-Blood Prince, blending his wizard mother's surname, Prince, with his muggle father's heritage. His talent in crafting new spells was unmatched, many of which, like Sectum Sempra, would later take on a life of their own, revealing both his genius and his darker tendencies. But Hogwarts was not a place of pure academic achievement for Snape. His years at school were marked by a bitter and escalating rivalry with James Potter, Harry's father, and the other Marauders, Sirius Black, Remus Lupin, and Peter Pettigrew. James and Sirius frequently bullied Snape, targeting him in humiliating ways, such as the infamous incident by the Black Lake, where James publicly humiliated him. This torment fueled Snape's hatred for James, and left deep scars that would shape his interactions with Harry years later. However, Snape's time at Hogwarts wasn't solely defined by bitterness. His friendship with Lily Evans, a Gryffindor, continued to be a source of light, though their bond began to strain as Snape delved deeper into the dark arts and associated with future Death Eaters. This shift drove an irreparable wedge between them, ultimately severing their friendship when Snape, in a moment of anger and humiliation, called Lily a mudblood. Though he begged for her forgiveness, the damage was done, and Lily's rejection haunted him for the rest of his life. As you close your eyes tonight, imagine the long, candlelit corridors of Hogwarts, the murmur of students practicing spells, and a young Severus retreating to the shadows, caught between his ambitions and his heartache. Snape's time at Hogwarts set the stage for his complex journey, a story of brilliance, conflict, and choices that would define the wizarding world. Severus Snape's identity as the Half-Blood Prince is one of the most fascinating aspects of his character, revealing his brilliance, creativity, and the darker side of his talents. The nickname was a reflection of his heritage. His mother, Eileen Prince, was a witch, while his father, Tobias Snape, was a muggle. By calling himself the Half-Blood Prince, Snape rejected his father's legacy and embraced his magical roots, creating an identity that was uniquely his own. During his years at Hogwarts, Snape poured much of his energy into excelling in his studies, particularly in potions. His skills went far beyond the curriculum, as he experimented, refined recipes, and even improved existing potion-making techniques. His old potions textbook, filled with handwritten notes and modifications, became a testament to his genius. Spells, shortcuts, and techniques scrawled in the margins proved his mastery, showcasing both his innovation and his meticulous nature. Among the many spells he created, one of the most infamous was Sectum Sempra, a dark and devastating spell intended to harm enemies. This spell, along with others, reflected Snape's darker inclinations during his youth and the anger he carried with him. The duality of Snape's brilliance, both creative and destructive, was a defining characteristic that followed him throughout his life. Years later, this very potions textbook would find its way into Harry Potter's hands during his 6th year at Hogwarts. Under the mysterious pseudonym of the Half-Blood Prince, Snape became an unlikely mentor to Harry, guiding him to excel in potions without either of them realizing the connection at first. However, as the secrets of the book unraveled, so too did the complex and often painful layers of Snape's identity. As you close your eyes tonight, imagine Snape sitting alone in the quiet of the Hogwarts library or potions classroom, his quills scratching against parchment as he invents spells and refines techniques. The story of the Half-Blood Prince is a reminder of how brilliance and darkness can intertwine, shaping a legacy both remarkable and tragic. Severus Snape's involvement with Lord Voldemort marked a turning point in his life, setting him on a path of darkness that would later become one of redemption. As a young man, drawn by promises of power and belonging, Snape joined the ranks of the Death Eaters, becoming a devoted follower of the Dark Lord. His fascination with the dark arts and his association with influential figures in Slytherin made this decision seem inevitable, but it also came with dire consequences. Snape's knowledge of potions, spells, and his natural cunning made him a valuable asset to Voldemort. However, it was a prophecy overheard at the Hog's Head Inn that would ultimately change everything. The prophecy, made by Sybil Trelawney, foretold the birth of a child with the power to defeat the Dark Lord. Eager to prove his loyalty, Snape relayed this information to Voldemort, not realizing that it would seal the fate of someone he deeply loved, Lily Evans, now Lily Potter. When Snape learned that Voldemort intended to target Lily and her family, he was overcome with regret and horror. Desperate to save her, he turned to Albus Dumbledore, pleading for his help. In that moment, Snape's allegiance began to shift. He agreed to work as a double agent, feeding information to Dumbledore while maintaining his position within Voldemort's inner circle. Despite his efforts, Snape was unable to prevent Lily's death, a loss that would haunt him for the rest of his life. His love for Lily became the driving force behind his actions, motivating him to protect her son, Harry Potter. Even though Harry's resemblance to his father James was a constant reminder of Snape's pain and jealousy. As you close your eyes tonight, Imagine the torment of a man torn between the darkness he chose and the love he could never let go of. Snape's decision to betray Voldemort was born of regret, love, and a desire to make amends, marking the beginning of his complex and dangerous role as a double agent. His story reminds us that even in the face of our worst mistakes, there is always a chance to seek redemption. Severus Snape's role as a double agent for Albus Dumbledore was one of the most dangerous and pivotal positions in the fight against Voldemort. After the devastating loss of Lily Potter, Snape committed himself to Dumbledore's cause, vowing to protect Lily's son Harry and do whatever it took to help bring about Voldemort's downfall. This decision placed Snape in a precarious position, walking the thin line between loyalty to Dumbledore and feigned allegiance to the Dark Lord. Dumbledore recognized Snape's unique value as a spy and used his position within the Death Eaters to gather critical information about Voldemort's plans. Despite the danger, Snape proved to be a master of deception, gaining Voldemort's trust while secretly working against him. His skill in occlumency, the magical ability to shield one's mind from intrusion, allowed him to keep his true intentions hidden even from Voldemort, who was a master legilimens. Snape's relationship with Dumbledore was built on an uneasy mixture of trust and mutual necessity. Dumbledore relied on Snape to provide key intelligence, while Snape depended on Dumbledore to help him fulfill his vow to protect Harry. However, their relationship was far from simple. Dumbledore's manipulation of Snape, particularly in asking him to carry out the ultimate act of loyalty, killing Dumbledore himself, revealed the moral complexities of their alliance. When Dumbledore was fatally cursed by the ring Horcrux, he and Snape devised a plan. Snape would end Dumbledore's life when the time came, sparing Draco Malfoy from having to commit murder and solidifying Voldemort's trust in Snape. This act, carried out in Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, appeared to confirm Snape's loyalty to Voldemort, but was, in truth, the ultimate sacrifice for the greater good. As you close your eyes tonight, imagine Snape, standing in the shadows, burdened by the weight of his secrets and the dangerous path he chose. His work as a double agent is a testament to his bravery, intelligence, and the lengths he would go to honor his love for Lily. Snape's story reminds us that true courage often comes from facing impossible choices and staying the course, even when no one else understands. Severus Snape's role as a teacher at Hogwarts showcased yet another layer of his complex character. As the potions master, and later the defense against the dark arts professor, Snape was strict, intimidating, and often unfair. But his teaching methods and behavior revealed as much about his inner struggles as they did about his personality. From the moment Harry Potter stepped into his classroom, Snape's disdain for him was evident. Snape's bitterness toward Harry stemmed from his resemblance to his father, James Potter, who had bullied Snape during their time at Hogwarts. Every time Snape looked at Harry, he saw the face of James, but with Lily's eyes, a constant reminder of the woman he loved and the life he could never have. While his favoritism towards Slytherin House and his harsh treatment of Gryffindors, particularly Harry, made him seem cruel, Snape's actions often carried hidden intentions. He was fiercely protective of his students in his own way, shielding them from harm even when it wasn't immediately apparent. For example, in Harry's first year, Snape secretly protected him from Professor Quirrell's attempts to harm him during a Quidditch match, an act that went unnoticed at the time. Snape's teaching style, though severe, reflected his high standards and his belief in discipline. He demanded perfection in potions, a subject where mistakes could be dangerous, and often used intimidation to ensure his students took it seriously. Despite his gruff exterior, his knowledge and skill were undeniable, and he passed on valuable lessons, even to students he appeared to despise. When Snape became the defense against the dark arts professor in The Half-Blood Prince, his true expertise shone. His deep understanding of spells and curses made him one of the most formidable practitioners of magic at Hogwarts, a fact that even his critics couldn't deny. However, his time as headmaster during Voldemort's takeover of Hogwarts revealed the extent of his sacrifices. as he secretly worked to protect the students while maintaining his cover as a loyal Death Eater. As you close your eyes tonight, imagine Snape pacing the dimly lit dungeon classroom, his voice cutting through the silence, as he lectures on the importance of precision in potion making. His role as a teacher, though harsh and often misunderstood, was another piece of the puzzle that made Snape such a compelling and unforgettable character. It reminds us that even the sternest figures can have hidden depths and unseen intentions. One of the most defining moments of Severus Snape's story is the revelation of his true allegiance, a truth that unraveled the complex layers of his character and redefined him in the eyes of Harry and the audience. At the centre of it all was Snape's undying love for Lily Evans, the woman whose memory drove his actions and shaped his legacy. Throughout the series, Snape was portrayed as a cruel and antagonistic figure, particularly toward Harry. But in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, through the pensive, Harry witnessed Snape's most guarded memories, uncovering the truth about his motivations. Snape's love for Lily was the cornerstone of his actions, the reason he betrayed Voldemort and worked tirelessly to protect Harry, even if it meant enduring a life filled with danger, loneliness, and pain. The moment Snape showed Dumbledore his Patronus, a silver doe, the same as Lily's, Dumbledore's simple question, after all this time, was met with Snape's now iconic response, always. This single word encapsulated the depth of Snape's love and loyalty. It revealed that every sacrifice he made, every dangerous step he took as a double agent, was for the memory of Lily and the promise he made to protect her son. Despite his love for Lily, Snape was far from perfect. He was a deeply flawed individual, driven by bitterness, jealousy, and regret. His treatment of Harry, rooted in his lingering resentment toward James Potter, often clouded his better judgment. Yet, beneath his harsh exterior was a man consumed by guilt and a desire to atone for the role he played in Lily's death. The always moment reframed Snape's character, revealing him as a tragic hero who fought in the shadows, driven by love and a longing for redemption. His actions weren't about seeking recognition or glory. They were about keeping his promise to the one person who ever truly mattered to him. As you close your eyes tonight, imagine the silver glow of Snape's Patronus lighting the darkened halls of Hogwarts, a symbol of his enduring love and the choices he made to honor it. Snape's story is a poignant reminder that even in the darkest moments, love and loyalty can guide us toward redemption, no matter how flawed we may be. Severus Snape's ultimate redemption and legacy cemented his place as one of the most complex and memorable characters in the Harry Potter series. Though his life was filled with pain, mistakes, and moral ambiguity, his final acts of bravery and sacrifice revealed the true depths of his character, leaving an indelible mark on the wizarding world. Snape's role in Voldemort's downfall was one of secrecy and sacrifice. As a double agent, he risked everything to protect Harry and work against the Dark Lord, all while maintaining the guise of a loyal Death Eater. His final moments were a testament to his courage when Voldemort, believing he needed to kill Snape to gain mastery of the Elder Wand, turned on him. Snape met his fate with dignity. Even in his last moments, he thought only of Lily and Harry, giving Harry his memories to ensure Voldemort's defeat. Through the pensive, Harry discovered the truth about Snape's life, motivations, and sacrifices. He saw the heartbreak of Snape's love for Lily, the regret over her death, and the incredible lengths Snape went to in order to protect him. These revelations transformed Snape from a perceived villain into a tragic hero, a man whose flaws and mistakes were outweighed by his ultimate loyalty and bravery. Snape's legacy lived on, even after his death. In the Deathly Hallows epilogue, Harry honoured Snape's memory by naming his second son, Albus Severus Potter, acknowledging Snape as one of the bravest men he ever knew. It was a moment of reconciliation, a recognition of Snape's sacrifices and his vital role in Harry's survival. Snape's redemption wasn't about erasing his flaws. It was about showing that even the most imperfect individuals have the capacity for love, courage, and selflessness. His story is a reminder that heroism isn't always about grand gestures or public recognition. It's about the quiet, unseen sacrifices made for the greater good. As you close your eyes tonight, imagine Snape's final words echoing in the stillness. "Look at me," a plea to see Lily's eyes one last time. Snape's redemption is a testament to the power of love and the idea that even in the darkest hearts, light can endure. It's a story that lingers long after the last page is turned, leaving us to reflect on the complexity of courage and the cost of redemption. Severus Snape's story is one of love, sacrifice, and the blurred lines between good and evil. As one of the most complicated characters in the Harry Potter series, Snape defied easy categorization, leaving fans debating his true nature long after the final book. But perhaps that's what makes him so unforgettable. He was neither wholly a hero nor entirely a villain, but a deeply flawed man, whose choices were driven by a love that endured beyond death. Snape's journey, from a bullied boy in Spinner's End to a double agent who played a critical role in Voldemort's downfall, is a testament to the complexity of human nature. He was capable of cruelty and pettiness, yet he also showed immense courage and selflessness. He protected Harry, not because he liked him, but because of his love for Lily and his commitment to the promises he made. His actions were driven by guilt, loyalty, and a longing for redemption, making him one of the most human characters in the wizarding world. In the end, Snape's legacy is defined not by his mistakes, but by his sacrifices. His life was one of silent bravery, working in the shadows without seeking recognition or glory. And while his flaws were undeniable, his story reminds us that even the most broken individuals can find strength in love and honor in their actions. As you close your eyes tonight, picture Snape walking the quiet halls of Hogwarts, his black robes billowing behind him, burdened by the weight of his secrets. Imagine the flicker of a silver doe Patronus lighting the darkness, a symbol of love and loyalty that never wavered. Severus Snape's story is a reminder that redemption is never out of reach, and that even in the most complicated lives, there is room for bravery and grace. Thank you for spending your evening with Lost at 3 a.m. Sleep well, and may your dreams carry you through the corridors of Hogwarts, where every shadow holds a story worth discovering.